So any doctor who is prescribing slimming teas or slimming herbs is a quack.
It's a quack.
Yeah.
Over the past few decades, a lot of friendships, relationships, and marriages have been shattered due to bad health. And that is why here at the Healthy Happy Human Show, we talk on salient issues to enable you have a better mental, physical, and emotional life. Hello and welcome to another interesting and exciting episode of the Healthy Happy Human Show. Here, my name is Cyril Aloysius, your host, as always. And today's topic is going to be on something very sensitive, okay? Weight loss drugs and their effects. And with me in the studio is a profound doctor to talk about this subject with us. Hello, sir, what's your name?
I'm Dr. Anike Chukwuebuka, Dr. Malcolm on Instagram.
All right, so Dr. Malcolm, Dr. Chukwuebuka is going to be discussing with us on weight loss drugs and its effect. All right, to get straight to the business of the day, tell us, sir, a lot of persons have been hearing the word weight loss drugs, and the effects. What exactly are weight loss drugs and what are the effects?
Weight loss drugs are, like the name implies, drugs that are prescribed or taken to help individuals, well, obese or overweight, to achieve some level of significant weight loss.
Okay.
So that's the name is actually very descriptive. Weight loss drugs taken by individuals who are obese or who aims at weight reduction to lose weight, basically.
All right. So doing some research before now, I discovered that we have prescribed weight loss drugs. Please, what are these?
Okay, prescribed weight loss drugs, like you just said, there are drugs that are being prescribed by healthcare providers for the goal of weight reduction. Individuals struggling with obesity, type 2 diabetes, and overweight are being given these drugs to help them achieve more effective weight reduction.
Okay.
It's not over-the-counter drugs. That's why the name prescription weight loss drugs comes in. It's not sold over-the-counter like you can just get paracetamol. So it has to be prescribed by a doctor. It's controlled. And these are drugs that are actually approved by the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA, which is the, I think, the most globally recognized food drugs controlling body.
Okay, so do you mind explaining to us how these drugs work? How do they work?
Okay, to explain how these drugs work, we basically go down to how obesity, dietary control, and all that affects the human life. Okay. Obesity is excessive, is defined as body mass index of greater than 30. That's obesity.
Obesity is defined as
body mass index. So it's a ratio, mathematical ratio of your height, your weight over your height. So let me not go into details of that. It's not important in this conversation. So it's as a result of excessive nutrients in the body, basically.
Excessive nutrients?
Excessive nutrients. Basically, they are macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates.
Okay, so if I have excess of proteins, carbohydrates...
No. Carbohydrates and fats, specifically. So you have excessive accumulation and storage. That's mostly from excessive consumption and little usage, little expenditure. Energy expenditure is lesser than the energy consumption. So that's where these drugs come in. So that's you take in more calories, more energy than your body expands over the period, and you have a lot to store, and then you gain weight. This is very, very simplistic. Of course, there is a lot of other complicated aspects of it, but let's stick to the simple things.
Okay.
So these drugs come in to help you achieve weight loss. How do they do that? So basically, the human body is controlled by hormones. So when you are hungry, it's as a result of reduced glucose in the blood, basically.
Reduced glucose in the blood?
Circulating glucose in the blood. So the body, the gastrointestinal, the digestive system sends...
That's what causes hunger?
Relax now. Yes, if there is reduced glucose in your blood, you feel
because
hungry.
There's nothing in the
okay, now you will understand these drugs when I go further.
Okay.
So there is reduced glucose circulation in the blood. There are signals that are sent to the brain from several parts of the body, several organs, the digestive system, to the brain, and the brain releases a hormone which makes you feel restless and crave
food.
the food. It increases your appetite, so you start looking for food. So when actually you go and eat,
That explains why I'm eating too much these days.
I don't think. Okay. So when you now eat, you get enough nutrients. You take in enough. It doesn't go into the blood immediately, but there are some signals that are sent to the brain immediately. That okay, we have enough. Even as digestion is going on and the energy is being extracted into your bloodstream, signal has already been sent to the
that
brain.
Enough is enough.
And then you have a sense of satiety.
A sense of satiety.
Satiety, yeah. You feel satiated, like you feel full. Okay. Yeah, you feel full.
Okay, you feel full.
Yeah, that feeling of fullness when you eat is actually coming from the brain.
Oh, okay.
So these drugs now come in. How they work is, for example, there are a couple of them. There are semaglutides and there are orlistats and a couple of others. Let me not mention a lot of names.
Okay.
So they work on your brain, and without food in the stomach, they trigger that sensation, that feeling of satiety, that feeling of fullness.
Fullness, yeah.
So they trigger that feeling and reduces your appetite. So you find out that you've not eaten. That's for individuals taking these drugs. You've not eaten. You're meant to be hungry.
Yeah.
But because you've taken this tablet or the injection or whatever form you've taken, it goes to the brain, releases this hormone, suppresses the feeling of hunger. You don't feel hungry.
Okay.
And then the level of glucose, like I mentioned earlier, which is low, which should have caused you to feel hungry.
Doctor, just slow down.
Okay.
Let me digest the ones you've been saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I hope
Continue.
I'm trying to be as basic as possible.
Yeah.
So the reduced energy, which is in form of glucose in your blood, which is actually meant to send the trigger to your brain, doesn't send that trigger anymore because the drugs are cutting off the signals. And then instead of sending the signal to make you hungry, they're sending the signal to make you feel full. So the body actually has no choice. For the obese individual whom these drugs are prescribed for, the signals and whatever that makes you hungry can't achieve making you hungry. So the body resorts to
it helps you cut down on
it cuts down food intake.
Okay.
And then because there is need for energy, the body must use up energy. You can't stay alive without energy, without glucose. So the body goes to fat stores, which is belly fat, wherever the fats are stored, and starts breaking them down. Of course, there are other pathways the body uses to generate the energy.
Yeah.
But fat breakdown is one of the basics, one of the major aspects of glucose regeneration. So the body breaks down fat. So over time, you're not eating enough, your body is breaking down so much of the fat storage, you start losing weight. That's basically one way. The semaglutide and naproxen, a couple of them work this way.
Yeah.
Then there are others like the orlistat. An example is Zenecal. It's very common. The orlistat.
Please, doctor, be careful with
Okay, this is just the
what?
Orlistat.
Orlistat.
Yeah.
Okay, Orlistat. And what?
Okay, the common brand name is Zenecal. You can Google it. Zenecal.
Okay.
Yeah. So it works by reducing fat digestion and absorption.
Okay.
So when you eat, basically, almost everything we eat has some fats in it, oils and others, animal fat and others, plant fat. So this and fat is a major source of calories. In fact, out of the 3 macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and fats, that's lipids, fats and oils have the highest calorie content.
Okay.
So this drug, Orlistat, Zenecal, the common brand available, they make the fats in your food not to be digested and absorbed. So you take in fats and then it passes out in stool without being digested or absorbed, thereby making you absorb less calories than you would have, and then in the long run you'll be losing weight.
Wow, so much knowledge.
I'm trying to be very busy.
Wow, my head.
I hope I didn't bump
my head, dude. My head. Right. Doctor, you have finished work. You are doing well.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so who are the persons meant to take these drugs now?
Okay, like the first question was, what are prescription weight loss drugs? So we're talking about prescription weight loss drugs. As the name implies, it's meant to be taken under the supervision of a medical professional. So it's actually not for everybody. It's basically for individuals who are morbidly obese. Morbid obesity, like all this we see in TV, they are very, very big. Yeah, so exercise, dietary modification wouldn't be so easy for them. They can't even exercise, so something has to be done, trying to help and facilitate weight loss. So one, then individuals with other medical conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, type 2 diabetes mellitus. So these drugs, actually some of them have been used to treat that type 2 diabetes in the past, and now being used to treat obesity.
Okay.
So then also there is a form of obesity which is genetical, not normal genetic obesity. So it's also I'm not trying to talk about people that are fat. Like you see, my family in my house, you're always fat. That's not what I'm talking about. There is actually a syndrome that's associated with obesity that is genetical. So these individuals are typically the ones that meet the criteria for prescription weight loss drugs. It's not for everybody.
So tell us now, are there potential side effects to these drugs?
Yeah, basically all pharmacological agents, all drugs, let me use the common word, all drugs have side effects.
All right, so please, if they are, then educate us on the side effects, please.
Okay. This is a bit controversial because some of the weight loss drugs hasn't been around. They've not been around for a long time for us to actually study long-term effects. One of the common drawbacks, I'll call it a drawback, not side effect, is that you have to be on these drugs to keep losing weight. It's not like a quick fix that you just take a one-time magic pill and you start losing weight for the rest of your life. So you have to be on them, and then it's been observed that individuals on these medications, when they stop, they actually gain weight back. That's one. Then the others, there is nausea, vomiting, because these drugs actually work on the central nervous system, that's the brain and spinal. It actually have some neurological effects. You can feel uncomfortable. Some have been found to be linked to stomach paralysis, because to make you feel full without food in your stomach. Some of them end up coming stomach paralysis. Some cause stomach pain. You can have headache, blurry of it. There's a lot. So that's why it's advisable. It's very important that you take them under the supervision of a medical professional.
Jesus, my brain one blue. My brain one blue.
Calm down. It's not that deep.
All right. So, in our environment today, we hear terms like non-prescribed obese, weight loss drugs, non-prescribed weight loss drugs and supplements. Please educate our viewers on what these drugs are, please.
Okay, non-prescribed weight loss drugs actually come in form of slimming pills, and then weight loss teas, fitness, slimming teas, that's a common. And pills. Okay. Like the name implies, they are non-prescription drugs. They can be prescribed by any doctor. Any doctor who is prescribing slimming teas or slimming herbs is a quack.
It's a quack.
Yeah. So they are not prescribed by doctors. You find them in the markets. You can get them on social media. They are basically advertised as herbs and natural weight loss remedy. And what they basically contain is they're just a cocktail of chemicals, basically phytochemicals. That's chemicals from plant sources and other things.
Okay. So do we know the major ingredients in these drugs now? How do these non-prescribed weight loss supplements work? How do they work?
Okay, talking about the ingredients, like I said earlier on, they're just a cocktail of chemicals from plant sources, phytochemicals. And some of them actually contain active pharmacological agents like drugs. But basically, how they work is basically based on what they contain. So the common contents of teas generally, like tea, the plant, as in theophylline, is a stimulant similar to caffeine. Theophylline. Okay.
I've learned one. Theophylline. Okay.
So theophylline and some other similar, like caffeine-like substances.
Okay.
So what they basically do is they are stimulants. And what stimulants do, it keeps you alert, makes you more active. By so doing, it makes you burn more energy. So if you've been taking coffee or you've taken caffeine-containing substances, you find out that sometimes your heart beats faster. That's because your activity level is being increased what we call basal metabolic rate.
Okay.
Is the minimum amount of energy required to sustain you at rest.
Okay.
So while you are at rest, your body is working, breaking down a lot of glucose, releasing energy to keep you breathing, keep your brain working, your eyes open. So basal metabolic rate. So what these drugs do, stimulants, they increase your basal metabolic rate a bit. So making you spend more energy while doing nothing.
Wow, 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 wow. So much valuable information in this discussion session. I hope you learned one or two things, because if you did not, then you are on a long thing, because I did, and we have come to the end of today's episode of the show. It is important that you click subscribe right now to our YouTube channel, and of course do all to follow us on our different social media platforms. All right, it is very, very important. Thank you so much for your time with us on the show today. But we have come to the end of another interesting and educating session on the Healthy Happy Human Show. My name remains Cyril Aloysius, your humble host as always. Up until next time, please don't forget, if you have questions to ask on this topic, drop them in the comment section and we will reply to them. Until next time, it's a bye for now, and thanks for watching.